So welcome to this practice, which is a yin practice. A yin practice is all about slowing down, really good to do before bedtime, and just good in those times of high stress. Really helps you come back to yourself and ground. So we are going to begin this practice lying on our backs, and each of the shapes we will be taking for 2 to 3 minutes. So I will keep an eye on the time and let you know when to come out. But of course, at any time it doesn't feel good, you come out a little bit sooner. So we'll start on our back. And this pose is called banana pose. So at the same time of these postures, we'll be practicing mindfulness. So come to lie on your back. We're taking the right foot to the right and the right shoulder in line with that right foot. So we have a little curve down the right side of the body. We have a bigger curve on the left side of the body. Take your arms up and overhead and hold on to your left wrist to help you lean to the right. So we have to fidget a little bit at first, so let yourself fidget to get comfortable. You might choose to put the left ankle on top of the right ankle. What's really important is that your shoulders are relaxed, so drop those shoulder blades, tuck the chin. If it feels that holding your wrist isn't comfortable, then just take the arms out to the side. And then can you close your eyes? So you stay there, I'm going to get up. Make sure that you're not tensing. So just internally scanning the body. Notice if you're gripping your buttocks, tensing the shoulders. And just repeat the word soften or softening as you exhale. How does that land in your nervous system? Closing the eyes, breathing through the nose. Breathing out, softening. And we're here for 2 more minutes, so drop into this quiet space that you've created for yourself. And if we find that our mind wanders, as so often it does, the Buddha's first teaching was simply to repeat, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Some phrase that helps you stay present. You may well repeat softening. Just stay here watching the breath for about the next minute and a half. The mind always wanders. Just bring it back to this next breath. And keep scanning the body for when you tense up. Can you visualize that you're melting like ice to water, softening? So we're here now for 2 minutes. Can you take 3 more big deep breaths? Let each breath get a little deeper. And finish with a sighing breath out. Let go of any tension in the jaw. So this is a practice. It's not a set of poses. So when we come out of the shape, try and stay present, because often our head shoots off somewhere else. Anything like me, you're probably planning the next meal. So let's come to center again. We have the feet wide, like a little starfish. So coming out of a pose, sometimes we feel more sensations. So be conscious, be mindful. What's going on right now? Does it feel like you've got more space in the left lung to the right lung? Just notice. And the whole aim of this part of the practice is to slow down. So Try to move slowly. Let's move the left foot to the left this time, the left shoulder in line with that. Okay, you might stack the right ankle over the left. You might hold your right wrist and hip to the side. Just check everything is as soft as it can be. You're not over gripping or over tensing. And then we settle in to banana pose, side 2. Breathing in through the nose. Softening. Where can you soften? And sometimes that's around the mind and those repetitive thoughts. So a book I'm reading at the moment about breathing, it is suggested that the key to a longer life is to breathe less. So we'll explore that now in these stiller poses by breathing in through the nose and allow there to be that natural pause at the top of the breath. Now breathe out through the nose. Allow there to be that natural pause at the end of the breath. So think of your breath as in 4 parts. We breathe, we pause, we breathe out, we pause. See how that lands in the body. Again, just over about a minute to stay with that. And can you let all those thoughts, we generally have about 60,000 a day, most of them are the same. Can you let them drop into those pauses as you bring your awareness back to the breath? Notice those 4 parts of the breath. Let those thoughts drop into those pauses. And again, can we take 3 more deep breaths? And each breath get a little deeper. And finish with a sigh. Remember, the practice is staying present, not the shape. So let's stay present now as we come back to that little starfish shape. The feet are wide, the arms are wide. Just breathe into the whole body. Just a little short hip release now. We're going to bend the knees. And sometimes we forget this is a pose in itself. So this is called Constructive Rest. Really good to let the spine settle. What we're going to do is lift that left leg up to the sky. Can you flex the foot, turn the toes towards you? Notice the muscles switch on at the back of the leg and slowly, slowly circle the ankle. And sometimes there are clicks and pops as we start to lubricate the joints, turn the circles in the opposite way. So important for arthritic joints that we keep them moving. It keeps them lubricated. What we now do is flex the foot and take it just below the right knee. So it's as if there's a little triangle shape. And with your left hand, guide that left knee away from you. So just stop when you feel a stretch around the left hip. This might be exactly where you stay. This might be enough. Otherwise, you feed your arms through and interlace them behind the right thigh. And I notice as we involve the hands, we involve our shoulders. So we don't want to add more tension. That's not the point of yoga. So bring that right thigh a little closer to you if that's what you're doing. And then take a drop of about 1 centimetre to the right. Just lean to the right. Notice how everything might now tighten up in the left hip. Breathe there. And then drop back to the left and take a little bit of a lean to the left. So we're just doing this to notice where the tightness is in the body. Can you go very slow? When we feel the body, we tend not to be in our heads. So that's what we're trying to do. So find that spot where everything tightens up. It might be leaning a little bit to the left. It might be leaning a bit to the right. And just stay there, because this is where your tension is. And take 2 breaths. And feel as if the breath is spreading to where your tension is. Because that's how we dissolve it. Let's come back. Lift both the legs up now. Just circle them out a little bit. Spread the toes. And then bring both of the feet back to the ground. Take a moment. Feel the soles of the feet connecting you to the earth. And breathe into the upper body. And let's do side 2. Maybe different this side, so don't rush to do the same form. So lifting up the right leg. Press the heel to the sky, toes towards your face, and then circle. Again, remember that quote. This is our human body. Every day is different. Sometimes there's aches, sometimes there's pleasures. Let's flex the foot, take it just below the left knee. So again, we've got a little triangle. We use our right hand to press that right thigh away. Take a breath. Notice if going slow is hard for you, because that's a really useful thing to know. And let's bring the left thigh in if we did that on side 1. So holding onto the back of the thigh, rolling the shoulders, and just take a centimetre rock to the left. A centimetre or so rock to the right. So where or which tight spots are revealing themselves to you? Slow down so you can really receive that information. And lean a little bit more to the left and pause. If that's where your tight spot is, or go the other way. So breathing in and breathing out. Another way that reveals if we're stressed is we're crooking the head. So can you tuck the chin, make sure the back of the neck is long. These are all signs to the body that there's danger around, and we don't want it to get that message. Let's come back, lift the legs, shake them all out, and then really easily we're going to come up to a seat. So what we are going to do now is a back bend, and this will vary. So you probably will need a few props for this, and there are 2 options. So the first option is called hero's pose. This isn't for everybody. Some of us, our skeletons just won't like it, but it is a good stretch for what we call our quads. So we have a couple of books or bricks, and then we put a big fat cushion on top of them. So it's a little bit like a luxury airline seat. What we then do, and I'm going to talk you through a second option. So if your body doesn't like this, just ignore me. We're going to take the toes together and lean the upper body back. So we've got a really big stretch for our quads as we lie back. Now you'll know straight away if your body doesn't like that, and never ignore the messages of a tweaky knee. So if that's not for you, we're going to come into a pose called bridge. So we take the bolster or cushions or books about 2/3 of the way along your yoga mat, and then you're going to pick up your hips and come to lie back. And again, this might be down to what props you have today. So if you don't have a bolster, you might have a few books underneath your lower back. We're just bringing a gentle arch, and then we might bring the arms up and overhead, again in a Y shape. So just a reminder, yoga is not about the poses that we take, it's what we do in those poses. So find the right back bend for you. And we're going to be here for about 3 minutes. So really important that we can settle and drop into this space. So allow the fidgets, let them come up. And then see if you can fidget your way into stillness. And one of the tools we use for that, again, is connecting to our breath. So breathing in through the nose. Let there be a pause at the top of the breath. Breathe out through the nose. Let there be a pause at the end of the breath. And again, can you let your thoughts drop into those pauses? And over time, through practice, we develop the capacity to step away from our thoughts because they're constant. It's like having a radio on in the background. We don't kind of, it's there all the time, just barking at us. And we very rarely stop to question whether our thoughts are even true, whether they're kind. The real gifts of these practices are just to switch that off a little bit or turn the volume down. And a quote going back probably to the well into the early part of the last century from Thomas Merton: "The greatest need of our time is to clean out the enormous mass of mental and emotional rubbish that clutters our minds." So we use this practice to do just that. Just let it clear out, let it rise to the surface, and let it go. Come back to the breath. You have about 2 more minutes to practice that, dropping your thoughts into those pauses. So many of our thoughts are patterns. We have them, we don't think about them, but they do stick. So if we have negative thoughts, we tend to get more negative thoughts. If we can step back and see that, we have an opportunity to perhaps release some of them. And there's a little quote: "Your mind is a garden and your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds." Just noticing, what are you planting right now in the mind, the fertile ground of the mind? And once again, take 3 deep breaths. Let each breath get a little deeper. Finish with a sighing breath out. Let go of any tension in the jaw. And remember, now we're going slow, so don't rush to come out of this shape. So depending upon which back bend you're in, if you have your hips elevated, then press the cushion or the bolster, whatever it is you're lying on, press it towards your heels. Be more careful if you're taking the one where you're sitting on your feet. So you want to lean one side and just release the leg, and then the other. So be gentle there. And again, remember, there's more sensation sometimes coming out of these shapes. So if you're achy, it's all part of it. Don't worry. Just bash out the back of your legs there. Just rub the kneecaps. So we've done a back bend. We've done some side stretches. The spine moves in 6 different directions: forwards, back, side to side, and twisting. So we're going to take a forward fold now. And you're going to take your legs into a V shape. So folding forward gives us more stretch in the hips. Sometimes we don't want to fold too far forward, and it can make our back uncomfortable. So really listen to the body. Your forward fold might look like this. Your hands are in front of you, you tuck the chin. You might have a chair, and you can make a little pillow with your arms and just lean up on a chair. If you do have a yoga prop, such as a bolster, you might come down and rest your hands, your forehead on your hands. The further forward you fold, more of a stretch for the hips. So you're in charge of the volume control. You can turn it up, you can turn it down. All that matters is, are you breathing? So let's slow the breathing down again. And we're going to be in this shape for about another 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So breathing in, Take a pause. Breathing out. Take a pause. Breathe less. That's our aim today. And we've been practicing now for 15 minutes or so. You might notice that you are more centered as we let go of all those thoughts that always pull us. You might find there is a little feeling of being more grounded, almost more at home. And a quote from Sogyal Rinpoche is, "We are fragmented into so many different aspects. We don't know who we really are or what aspects of ourselves we should identify with or believe. So many contradictory voices, dictates, and feelings fight for control over our inner lives, that we find ourselves scattered everywhere in all directions, leaving nobody at home." Meditation then is bringing the mind home. So use your breath, use those pauses between the breaths to come back home to yourself. And again, maybe repeat to yourself, I'm breathing in, breathing out, softening. Draw all those little fragmented bits of yourself, those tentacles, just come back to your home base and use your breath to do that. Take 3 more deep breaths. Each breath just get a little longer, a little fuller, a little more spacious. Let go of the jaw, the face. Just relax. So we've done sides, we've done backs, we've done forward. Let's take our spine into its final direction now, which is a twist. And we're going to have the bolster, cushions, books, something to the right. And even if you feel like you don't need it, it is good to use support, because the brain receives a message that the muscles are supported so it can switch them off. And that's how we access what we call our connective tissue. So bring those knees in towards your chest, a really simple twist. Then we're going to take the legs over to the right. So just have a little look. If there's any pulling in your back, wiggle your hips a little bit to the left. Otherwise, it's okay to stretch the back. And then we're going to just do something for our shoulders here. So as the knees rest on the bolster, as you breathe in, lift your left arm up to the sky. And like you're closing a book, bring that left hand all the way up and over to the right hand. And now as you inhale, you're going to bring that left arm, rub it up the right forearm. Straighten across the heart, the chest. And then let that left shoulder blade drop to the ground again as the left arm unfurls. So this is good for tight shoulders. Let's do 2 more of those. Breathing in, the left arm rises. Rests on the right palm. And then it just falls across the chest. Remember the softening as it lands. Final time, breathing in, arm lifts. And slowing down, speeding up. Let the arm come down and stay here now with wide open arms. The of course, a wide open heart. So just soften there. About a minute now in stillness. Breathing in. And drop into those pauses between the breaths. And take 3 more deep breaths. Finish with a little sigh. Stay present as you bring those knees up from the right. Come back to the center. And then we'll take our twist to the other side. So you might just ever so slightly wiggle the hips to the right first, and then let those knees flop over to the left. The arms are wide again. We're just going to do that little shoulder uncoiling. So breathing in, right arm lifts to the top, sits on the left palm, and then open the body. Hand rubs across the forearm, the chest, the arm floats out. Just feel it. Let it be journey, not destination. Just feel what's going on. Try and connect to the body. And we're going to do that 3 times in total. And then when you've finished there, keep the arms wide open for 1 more minute as we soften and settle. And have the idea of the heart being wide open. Feel the heart. This is the heart chakra. The shoulders relate to that too. So we're softening the wings of the heart, the shoulder blades. Perhaps directing your awareness and breath into the center of the heart. And once again, take 3 deep breaths. And each breath be a little deeper. Finish with a sigh. Remind yourself, we are cultivating stillness now. We're finishing now in our final shape, our resting pose we call Shavasana. Always really nice to have something for the backs of the knees, especially if you have an achy back. If you haven't, don't worry. So you can either lie flat with your knees bent and the feet to the earth. You can do as I'm doing now and just have something under the backs of your knees. Or you can have the legs long. So find a shape that you can be comfortable in for the next few minutes. And let there be a conscious placement of your hands. It might be palms up beside you. It might be hands resting on your body, especially if you're feeling a little bit ungrounded. And then let your eyes close. And we're not trying to control or structure the breath anymore. Let it breathe its own way. Let the breath breathe you as you breathe in and breathe out. And again, direct your awareness maybe to the center of the heart. The heart speaks to us in the form of intuition, but when the mind is busy, we don't always hear it. So trusting. And there's a little poem now I'm reading by Nana Ada Svensson called Heart on the Mend. You are not here, a wise woman said, to fill the hole in other people's souls. You are here to find the joy in being who you are and expressing what you love. You are here to find and honor the wisdom of your heart and the knowing of your soul. And in the presence of your living love, others are more likely to remember to find and mend themselves. Close the eyes, find the breath, and stop. Breathing in, breathing out. And just notice where the mind might have drifted to. Bring it back. Repeat to yourself, softening as you breathe out. And just start to deepen and extend your breath. If you have longer today, you might just wish to press pause now and stay here in this nice relaxed state. If you haven't, then you might just start to slowly re-inhabit the body with your breath. Feel the rise and fall of the chest, the belly. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Maybe you need to circle the joints a little bit. And take your time to come back to a seat. And don't worry if you're nice and chilled now, just stay there. Otherwise, we're going to take our hands to our heart and lift the heart. Breathe into the center of the heart. And as you inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, draw the hands to your center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.